sheep with their backs against the ceiling. Can you imagine? I'm back at the heather fields of Blaricum, and as you can see behind me, I'm in a place where the heather is really flat. Over there you see the heather bushes higher again, and there. This whole stretch has been mown, and if it had been done more properly, it would have been scraped off, like in different little plaques. And in Dutch we call it het afplaggen van de hei. But here in het Gooi, in our region where I am now, these plaques of heather with the soil, a bit of the roots still there, were just transported to the barn of the sheep. And the sheep walking there, winters, nights, the sheep poo was mixing with it, the feces, with the soil of this heather, and it will be getting higher and higher till you have 1 meter, 2 meters high, and the sheep end up with their back against the ceiling. I can imagine that happened in the Middle Ages. I read something about it. Once a year they would scoop it out and bring it to the fields to make it more fertile. It's called deep litter, and it's an animal housing system that has existed for years, very ecological, and they just put layer on layer on layer until, well, it was time of the year to go and spread the manure, the mixture, out over the land. Let's go and look for it. It is nice that the heather fields now are some novelty to us, some beautiful green recreational area. But in the early days this was a fact. Sandy soils, rough lands, nothing you could do with it. Just extensive agricultural use by some locals. And if you didn't need that land anymore, what they did was just plant some extra forests, and there's woods around plenty in this region. The woods I'm in now are just at the location where there once were heather fields. Most of them are oak trees. Here, I can show you the oak tree leaf. I guess you all know it. And I think I see a water tree. Something funny I used to read, and in the early days you see the little tree stems all over. These were yearly, no not yearly, 10-15 years I think, they were chopped. And the stems were then tiny. They would be used to make fences, the little posts, to make the stems for their spades, all the products, the tools for the farmhouses. If they were left to grow, they became bigger and bigger. And then in this little hole, let's see. Yes, some water would be in there. And I heard they have the nickname water tree. There's even a tree, I think in Naarden, that has a little spoon, so people can take water out and give it to their dogs when they're walking around here. A water tree, I like the name. Guess where I ended up? A nature campsite Karrewijn in Huizen, and there's plenty of fields here, and I was looking for the Huizer Eng. And Eng is one of these agricultural fields that have been made higher and higher on the sandy soil, where these poor farmers couldn't do anything but just have their sheep and try to make some, growing some crops. I am so happy I found an Eng. It's a rule before you can call the field an Eng in Dutch, or Enk. That is that the layer of all the sheep manure has to have left a dark soil on top of the sand layer of at least 50 centimeters. I'm not going to dig down, but I bet you this is one. And the farmers in the area were able and allowed to use all the woods as a communal ground, but because they could use the oak wood so easily, often on the side of their land, that is when they put the oak wood also as like fences around it. And when I would scrape off this bark here, I would get a special thing that is typical, very likely mostly of the kwerkers, the oak trees, and that is tannin. And tannin was used, if it was chopped, boiled, or whatever procedure with water, then it became so acid that they could get the skins from animals and make them into leather. It was a nice product for themselves, the farmers, but also to export to other provinces where there was more leather tanning going on. And tanning comes from tannare in Latin, and what does it mean? Tannare means to convert into leather. How appropriate. What you see as well here at the heather is some deep pits, some dugouts almost, where loam, clay, has been taken away from the soil. Right here behind me, a deeper lot, and clay or loam was always handy to have, especially in a region where it was sandy, where it was dry, where people were poor. So the farmers, if they needed a more sturdy soil in their little farms, they would dig away some loam, some clay here. More was even taken when there were roads, national roads made between Naarden and Muiden, for example, or any reason you could think of. These leemputten, the loam pits, have been here for a long time, have been useful, but what remained are these depths with certain, well, let's say slopes on the south side, the north side, and have special climates for flora and fauna, for little animals and insects to live. So it's fenced off, and you're not supposed to come there. It's once a year that they let the sheep in to do some grazing, otherwise it would be full with trees and bushes, and they just want to keep it bare the way it is now, and let nature be the way people actually want it to be. I'm happy what I found and what I discovered. I hope to see you again. Thank you for watching this video. Please, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, thumbs up, and even click the little bell so you get a nice announcement when the next story comes out. And where that will be, I don't know yet. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye. Heading home. I'm cold.